My name is Tove Thorson, and I was a client of Molly Trexler in her program Heartstrings. And I just wanted to talk about how much that program and Molly immensely helped me. Molly found me when my baby was 6 months old. He's now 9 months and doing well. And he has a very rare heart defect called isolated aortic atresia with a VSD. During the time of when he was born to 6 months old, I was, to say the least, a massive disaster. I had constant anxiety, panic attacks. I was at the hospital every other week with him because he was interstage. He required 2 surgeries to repair his heart, and will need more in the future. And during that time, I was going online all the time, seeing horror stories, going on Facebook groups especially. That was definitely my thing, was the Facebook groups, and typing in trigger words, seeing really scary things. And of course, as we know, when searching on Facebook groups, it never really helps because every child is so individual. Anyways, one day I was struggling particularly hard, and I decided to say a prayer while I was in church. And I basically asked for someone to be sent to me to help. And I kid you not, Molly actually found me on Instagram, and she messaged me about a minute later after I said that prayer. And it was just the perfect answer. And so I started working with her on certain tools of how to cope with, your child having a lifelong chronic heart defect, as mine does. And my baby, like I said, required a second one at 9 months. And so working with Molly 3 months prior to that next open heart surgery was the perfect time to be able to learn how to handle surgery, being back in the CICU with a lot more grace. Because the first time when I was with my baby in that environment and he needed the Norwood open heart surgery, I did not handle it with any grace. I was a complete disaster. It was very, very difficult, and I felt like I was hanging on by a thread. And so I started working with Molly, and almost pretty immediately, I'd say 2 to 3 weeks in, even my family and my husband noticed a massive difference in my demeanor and how I was handling things. I was able to go to these echo appointments or check-ins on my baby, and whereas prior I would make myself so nervous in those echoes, I was so afraid they were going to find something wrong. And then when I started working with Molly, I was able to go in and not be afraid, and to not go down the rabbit hole with